Good morning, everybody. Hopefully there will be a few of you coming soon. I don't really want to start my story until a few people have arrived, but the thing that I really want to talk about today is what defines censorship on YouTube. So, and what I mean by that is that I mean, like, in your comments and things like that on your videos, what defines censorship? So that's what we're talking about today. And the reason I'm bringing up this subject is because my 21-year-old son, hi Leah, he thinks he knows everything about YouTube, and he and I got into kind of an argument this week about what's appropriate in the comment section on YouTube. So that's why I'm going to talk about censorship today, if I can even say the word censorship. Okay. Hi, everybody. Good to see everybody. All right, so I'm going to start my story about the argument with my son and see what you guys think about what we discussed and whether or not you agree with him or me. And if you agree with him, I'm cool with that. It's no big deal. So, in the comment section on YouTube, I chose to, I don't even know the word, I guess mute a person recently that was attacking me personally. And my son heard about this and he kind of gave me a hard time. And he said a bunch of words I do not understand because he loves to do that to me. Because, you know, me being 43, I must not know anything. And so he likes to throw a lot of politico jargon at me and words that he knows I don't know because, you know, he's so much more smart than I am. It's really irritating because it really does make me feel really small and stupid when he does that. But he started bringing up something called an echo chamber, which he got from his Politico YouTubers, I guess. And what he means by an echo chamber is when you basically delete all the comments and block all the people who don't agree with you so that the only views in your comment section are ones that agree with you, basically echoing what you say. And that is a toxic thing. It's not good. So first of all, I told him that isn't what I was doing because a lot of people don't agree with me. In fact, a lot. And I don't go around deleting everybody's comments and, you know, like saying they can't be here because you can't play in my yard because you don't like my dog or whatever. I don't do that. But this particular person was becoming irritating to the point where it was starting to bother me personally in my daily life. Every single night while I was asleep, she was coming up with new ways to insult me for no reason other than she had a bad experience on my Facebook page that had literally nothing to do with me. Now, I don't know if she can watch my videos, but she can't comment, so don't care. And it's just one person. But he got me thinking, like, you know, I mean, YouTube is a rough place. It's the internet, you know. We're going to have crap. I know Jess. Hey, Jess. I know Jess has had some lovely, lovely comments this week about her weight and her health that were just lovely. And frankly, if somebody comes on here and calls me a fat pig, I'm probably going to delete it. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't have to put up with that. I'm better than that. I deserve more than that. I deserve credit for what I'm offering you guys. And if people are going to be insulting, then they need to go. If people want to have a conversation, I'm cool with that. In fact, Gonzo and I have had some interesting conversations over the past week. He was confused about what I'm doing, and I think he understands it now. I know he still doesn't agree, and that's okay. I really don't have a problem with people not agreeing. I know that my version of keto is different than the common version of keto, and so I'm definitely going to have people out there that aren't going to like what I have to say, and that's awesome. But like Sandy's saying, it's a big difference disagreeing with what someone is saying, but then coming and just like attacking them personally. She was basically saying that I refuse to listen, so I'm killing myself and like, I don't know, giving me crap about what I've said on my thing about my kids. And I don't even remember all of it because it's so dumb. And at first I was amused by it. I kind of just went along, haha, you know. But it just got to be annoying. I couldn't take it anymore. Every time I woke up in the morning, I go to check my comments, and it's just like, you suck, you suck, you suck. And I'm like, you know what? I get it. You think I suck. Awesome. Move on. And she wouldn't move on, so Bye-bye. So anyway, censorship on YouTube. I really think that I'm not censoring. If you guys think that I am, I'm sorry. I'm trying really hard to let everybody have their opinions, even on my furniture choices. And I'm not going to give anybody like a hard time about it. I do really try to respond to almost every single comment because I feel like relationships and helping each other is what this is about. And my son disagrees with me. And I think that's the fundamental difference between he and I, is that his worldview centers around the self. He believes that there's no such thing as charity and helping others, and basically that charity only exists in where it benefits the self. And I can see where he's coming from on that, and I'm not gonna completely argue. It's his worldview. He can think what he wants. But I'm coming from a place where I believe that God directs my path. I believe that relationships are key, that this earth life is important, that it's a test, that we're supposed to be, helping each other and loving each other. And so when I am coming at YouTube, I'm coming at this in a place of love and acceptance of all peoples and all ways of doing keto. So if you guys think that I'm being judgmental or too pushy, please let me know, because I am not meaning to be that way at all. My entire purpose for this YouTube channel is to let people know that there's another way to do keto that you may not have heard of. And if you wanted to try it, you could. And that's about it. All right, so now you guys let me know what you think about it, and I'm going to roll back through the comments and pick out a few to talk about. Let's see. Those people gotta go. Thanks, Lisa. People like Lisa M make YouTube a wonderful place to be, because when there's people that are so glowingly wonderful and supportive and accepting, it just makes you want to keep coming back and making videos. And what my son does not get is that most of the people that I interact with online, I don't know if it's because I attract good people, but most of the people that I interact with online for the past 20 years are nice. And he seems to think that everybody that exists on the internet is evil and out to get you. And if you can't just ignore it, you don't belong on YouTube. Well, I don't necessarily agree with that. And I've had hardly any negative experiences on my entire journey on the internet. I mean, I've had a few, but nothing like what he's talking about. So anyway, that's why. And why can I never say your name? Just TV5. Is that right? I got to learn your name so I could just call you your name. She says, you go, girl. We need a positive community. Yes. And yes, we do. I feel like if we can support each other and be there for each other, we're just going to make a better YouTube. If YouTube is all about hating on each other and telling each other why we're wrong and pointing out everybody's mistakes, what's the point of that? There's plenty of that crap out there. Let's create something pretty. Let's create something beautiful. All right, let's see. Looks like a lot of you guys feel the same way. Susan Abu Shaban, I'm going to come back to you just a second. Hey, Kimia, my new Padawan. She's here today. She's my new in real life friend that's trying out my version of keto. So that's pretty cool. Wanna Be Better says, I think you are censoring, but in a good way. You're censoring the negativity. It's a two-way street. Okay, yeah, I don't want to create an echo chamber where everybody just agrees with me all the time, but I definitely don't want a place where people can come on and call people names and accuse them of doing things they're not doing just because they are mad. And ironically, she wasn't even mad at me. She was mad at somebody on the Facebook group. It literally had nothing to do with me, but because I'm the only person she knows on that group, I guess she could just attack me. I don't know, it's crazy. If you don't like someone, move on. Yes, please leave. Don't watch. If you are watching that certain person, you know who you are. Why are you watching? Get a life. I'm so proud of you for losing 240 pounds and being the same weight, actually heavier than me, and telling me that I am not an expert because I am not to my goal weight yet. But you know what? I never claimed to be an expert, so whatever. I'm just a person teaching what I learned from somebody who's an expert. All right. Sammy Annie, she says, I think it's your channel and you need to surround yourself with positivity and not people's negative crap. Yeah, I agree. All right. Okay, here's someone I really want to hear from. It's either Mega or Matt. I don't know who from Keto QnA, but this is what they say. Censorship is the worst. We have a strict policy that we never delete a comment on any video, no matter how negative. So many channels become an echo chamber of hearing what you want to hear. Yeah. And like I said, I agree with them to a certain degree, but I'm also a human being who has to like live every day with depression, and I tried really hard to just let it go and move past it, but I just can't. So I guess I need to work on that. But thank you for your input. And she also, or he, I wish I knew which one it was. Love your channel. Keep it up, she says. Or he. I'm assuming it's Mega, but maybe it's Matt. All right. Susan, she wants to know the difference, and so does Kimmy. Let's see. I'm just making sure that anybody else that was talking about that. You don't, Fit Fat Beauty, Jess, she doesn't delete the comments, but she doesn't respond to them. She ignores them. And yes, that's what I need to do. That is what my son is saying. And he's probably right. Okay. Teresa Morales agrees with me, not my son. Thanks. Sandra R says he'll learn as he grows. Yeah, I know, won't it? It's true. And I hate to break it to him, but he needs a good dose of reality, like real life. Like, he freaking lives in my basement and spends his whole life on YouTube. He thinks he's way smarter than me. Okay, whatever. But you know what? Like, I think maybe he's a little bit jealous because he does love YouTube, and he did try and start a channel and was not successful. I don't know, something like that. He also thinks I have a big ego because I have a lot of subscribers now. But you know what? I'm just proud of myself because I've worked really hard. And frankly, I've spent my entire life taking care of him, wiping his butt, breastfeeding him, you know, all the crap that we have to do. And then he just comes back and is like, you don't really matter. Yeah, I'll stop talking about that. That's negative. He's a great kid, and I love him, and I'm really trying to understand him. And that's why I wanted to bring it up, to see if I'm just living in a dream world, if he has something that's important to hear. Mega and Matt, they seem to think that he is right. So I am going to think about it a lot more. All right. Okay, looks like I got everybody on that. So I'm going to go back to Susan and Kimia, who want to know the difference between what I am doing and what regular keto is. So I have done a video on that. If you go back to my protein video, I think it was the first Mentor Monday, I kind of describe a little bit of what the difference is. So the major difference is that I have my protein grams higher than my fat grams, and I go by macros. If you look at the actual pie chart, though, of calories, my fat calories are still higher than my protein calories because protein only has 4 calories per gram and fat has 9. So fat is just more calorically dense, and so you don't need to eat as much of it for it to be the main source in your food intake. So I guess the easy way to describe it is that I eat adequate protein, what I believe to be adequate protein. People do disagree with me, but I have learned this from the Facebook group Ketogenic Dieters, from people who know what they're talking about. I am not a scientist or a doctor, so if you want to know all about it, you got to join the Facebook group. When this is over, I'll put it in the link. I usually put it, in the About section. I usually put it in every one because everybody wants to know what I'm doing, and they want to go over there and check it out. So that, and my fat is a lot lower. So like I would say I eat about half the fat of a typical ketoer in a day. And I feel just fine and satiated that way because my protein level is higher. I feel like I get to eat more food. It feels like more food because it actually has more bulk to it. And so I can keep my calories really low. My calories per day are only 1,266. 1266 per day, which when I started, I thought was a starvation diet and I thought I would never survive. But it is absolutely sufficient for feeling satiated and happy, and it's nutrient dense. It keeps my lean mass, and that's, it's good for me. I'm not saying it's good for everybody. We have a lot of success stories, though, on our group. And you will notice if you do join our group that we don't allow discussion of any kind of ketofied treats, breads, fat bombs, bulletproof coffees, keto strips. Be aware. If you go over there, sit back and watch for a little while before you comment. The moderators are, and I am one of them, we are very good at combing the group and making sure that all of the advice given is in line with our version of keto, because there's like a billion keto pages out there. If you want to know about regular keto, there's only one ketogenic dieters that is teaching this way of doing keto. I hope that answers your question. Let me know if it doesn't. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. I need a double person. I'm always jealous of Matt and Mega because they can take turns reading the comments and picking out the good ones. Of course, I was on their live chat on Sunday, and oh my gosh, I don't even know how they keep up with any of it. I could hardly keep up at all. And there was like this guy making lewd comments constantly. And I was like, dude, okay then. I guess you know you're definitely famous when you got that kind of thing going on. Let's see. Just TV5 says, hope we get some more recipe videos. I know, I'm working on it. My kids have been really, really sick this week. I don't know. I guess I don't look as much like death as I thought I would. My eyes are pretty bad today because I haven't gotten a lot of sleep. I actually have had 4 of my kids puking this week. 4. And 2 of them have a really bad cold or flu or something, fever and cough and sore throat on top of that. So yeah, it's been a week. So I didn't do a recipe. I'm sorry. I'll see if I feel a little better next week and maybe I can get Dave to do something. I've got some things in mind of what I want to do recipes of. It just takes a lot more work to do that because I have to, first of all, make sure my kitchen is clean, which it is never. And secondly, Dave has to be here. So it has to be on a day he has off because I'm not the best cook. I mean, I can cook some things, but Dave's the cook at our house. So, man, he made this sausage gravy this week that I got from Angie's Keto Journey. It was really, really good. If you want to check out her recipe for it, you could go make it. It was a little higher in fat than what I usually do, but I just cut down the portion size, and it worked for me. All right. Lisa says she's not doing high-protein keto, but she still can't stop watching me. Cool. Yeah, and I'm totally cool with that. Most of the people who watch me don't do what I'm doing. And I think most people are just watching out of curiosity to see if it really works or to see if all of a sudden it will stop working. I don't know, just because they're curious or maybe they like my personality. I don't know. I love talking. I was born talking. And if you know me in real life, like Kimia does here, she will attest to the fact that I have a hard time not talking. So this works for me. All right. Sandy says, people can disagree with you all they want and be an adult about starting their side of a debate. But once they start name calling and personal attacks, they have stepped over a line. And that's how I feel too. Granted, I'm still not big enough that I can't read every comment and comment on it. Maybe when I get to the point where Matt and Mega are, that I have 183,000, is that how much you have this morning? Subscribers, then maybe I wouldn't be able to keep up with the comments, and then it wouldn't matter as much. But yeah, I still read them all. I love them all. I try really hard to respond to them all. Adult kids, Karen Rothwell. Adult kids who live at home are the worst. When my oldest moved out, it was so much better for our relationship. Yeah, I have been tempted to maybe like show him the door. He was kind of disrespectful online to his online friends about that situation that we had. I'm not going to say what he said. And my 12-year-old shouldn't have told me, but he shouldn't have posted it when my 12-year-old could see it to a bunch of people that I know in real life who, you know, it's not online people. It was like a Facebook chat of his friends, people that I know in real life, and he was extremely disrespectful toward me. And I cried a lot. And I ranted a lot. And I wrote out a text telling him how I felt, but I did not send it. Because I am trying to teach him what I am telling you guys is that we don't need any more negativity in this world. We need only positivity. And I know that that comment was made in anger at a time when he thought I would not hear it. And I know that he probably didn't mean it. And so instead of sending him the nasty text, telling him where he could take himself and all of his things, I wrote him an apology note instead and left it where I knew he would find it, to let him know that I'm really sorry if I hurt his feelings by not listening to his opinion, or if he felt unheard, because I really thought I was listening. And I guess I acted a little bit arrogant about things, and, he apparently took offense and was angry. So instead of fighting back, I chose to write him a letter, because I'm 43 years old and I am capable of doing that. And if you are not capable of doing that, you should probably work on that. And that's how I feel about YouTube haters. All right, let's see. C. Brown, I tell my kids about bullies and jerks that jerks will be jerks. How you react to them is what allows them to win or lose. Right. And so I just needed to not respond. I think that was part of the problem, is that I kept responding, and so she kept coming back. And even though I respond positively and told her that, that I'm sorry, that we can agree, she still felt like it was licensed to get her to come back and be mean again. Okay. Trinity Carpenter says she'd love to start, or he, I don't know, I know a guy named Trinity, probably a girl. I'd love to start a channel, but the negativity I see on positive channels makes me hesitate. Yeah. And he told me that in the beginning. He's like, if you're going to start a YouTube channel, you got to have a thick skin. And I thought, yeah, I got a thick skin. And then I'm like, no, I don't. Who am I kidding? I'm a little puppy dog with a soft belly. Don't kick me to the curb. Be nice. Okay, Lisa M. I'm wondering if you're still breastfeeding and if this is why your higher protein keto is working for you. Just a thought. That is a very good question, and I've actually been asked that before, and I will tell you what I told that person. Technically, yes, I'm still breastfeeding. I only nurse my baby once a day. He is 2 years old now. I haven't been known to nurse a long time. The bratty adult child that we are discussing nursed till he was close to 6 years old. He's been taking advantage of me for a really long time. I'm not nursing the younger one that long. In fact, I'm working on weaning him, which is why I am only nursing once per day. I do not produce more than a tablespoon of milk, if that, at this point. I've never been a good producer. I've never lost weight while breastfeeding. Breastfeeding has never helped me. And I have literally been breastfeeding and or pregnant for 22 years without a break. So I don't feel that the breastfeeding has anything to do with it. If anything, I'm having the same exact experience that most of the people on the board are having, losing weight at the same rate. And I'm using the same calories that they are using. And so if I were using breastfeeding macros, I would meet my protein with my fats. So I would start at 120 protein, 120 fat, 21 carbs. And then if I wasn't losing, I would cut my fat back each week by 10 until I got to the happy place where I didn't lose my supply, but I was still losing fat off my body. So the long story for the short answer is no, breastfeeding is not helping me lose weight. But I am still breastfeeding once a day. So I guess if people think that, that's awesome. But if you go and join the board, there's like a billion people who are not breastfeeding who are having exactly the same experience and losing at the exact same rate. In fact, we seem to all lose pretty close to the same rate. For the first, I don't know, like about 6 months, I pretty much lost about 3 pounds a week. And then it cut down to about 2 to 3 pounds a week, and now it's down to about 1.5 to 2 pounds per week. But it does, like you've seen in my videos, it doesn't usually happen per week. It usually happens 2-3 weeks we don't lose anything or we gain, and then boom, it all comes off. So I don't know, that's a long answer, but yeah. Can you be a vegetarian and do this version of keto? No. And I'll tell you why. It's because we have a very high protein requirement. So you can do keto, and even vegans can do keto. There's lots of ways that you can do it. A regular keto diet, but this one that's higher protein, lower fat, it just gets really tricky if you can't do any animal protein. If you are ovo-lacto, You might be able to get away with it if you can do eggs and fish. You might be able to get enough protein in. But yeah, it's just easier if you can do meat, protein, and I know that's difficult for people who religion especially is vegetarian. Let's see. Just Keto Jen says that sounds like my kind of group. Cool. Well, you should come hang out with us then. Just warning you, it's kind of strict over there. Some people have called us militants, but we just try and keep it all the right information. So, and we don't allow any cheat posts. So don't post any cheat posts. All right. Chubby Chocolate. Hey, girl. She made it to my live. She's on 1,200 calories too, unless she works out. She's doing a really great job. If you guys haven't had a chance to check out Chubby Chocolate, she'll probably be on one of my next shout outs. She's not doing keto, which is why I haven't shouted her yet, but she does kind of a low carb / exercise thing, and she has lots of really good workouts, and she's smoking, and she is doing a really good job. Okay, let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to understand this. Want to be better. Mine are about the same, but lately I've been eating more because of the fact that I did up my fat. I'm a beginner and have no idea, but I'm learning. Yeah, okay. So she has similar macros, I'm guessing. I'm not exactly 100% sure what she means, but yes, if you've seen Seema Ruby, she's one of my subscribers who actually found me from Ketogenic Dieters. She found that the 78 grams of fats that were on this plan for her were just too low. And she kept her protein the same and raised her fats to 90 and had better success. So some people definitely have more success with the higher fat keto. I know Crazy Keto Girl tried the higher protein and was unsuccessful and has moved back to the regular keto and is doing great. So by all means, do what works for you. I know I just should let you guys know that I cannot change how I'm doing things. So people do love to suggest that to me, but I can't, because this channel I actually created for Ketogenic Dieters to explain to the members there of what we are doing. And so I have to keep it all on our plan in order to be connected with them. And if I'm not connected with them, I really don't have any authority at all. Like, I'm not a doctor or a nutritionist or a dietitian or anything. So like, without that backing me up, like, I don't have any like authority. Does that make sense? So I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. I hope nobody minds if that's the way. Julie V says it's a great group. She's joined over there. Sandra R wants crock pot recipes. I don't use the crock pot very often. We do Instant Pot around here because we got 9 kids, but I will talk to Chef Dave and see what he thinks of that. Sandy says she's watching me for my personality, and I feel the same way about Sandy's losing it. She is hilarious and so much fun, and she just makes me happy. That's why I watch her. Let's see. 1,200 calories. Do you ever find yourself getting less? I find myself under my calorie recommendation, but I'm satisfied and not feeling hunger. No. And that is another difference between the version of keto that I do and the version of keto that's out there that other people do, is that I am not eating to satiety. I am eating my macros. And the reason for that is twofold. The first one being, I am a food addict, definitely a carbohydrate addict. I also am likely insulin resistant, though I was never tested. I never had high blood sugars, but I just know that when I eat carbs, they do not do well with me. And so because of that, I cannot trust myself to make wise choices when it comes to eating. Now, I know Matt and Mega have not really struggled with their weight, and they're just healthy, and they're doing keto to be healthy, and so they can eat lots of fun things. Me, if I go around eating too many desserts, I am going to end up eating the real thing. I just don't trust myself. So the short answer is, I eat my calories, I eat my protein. Number one, my protein every single day. There have been times when I was exhausted and tired and it's midnight and I have gone on and complained to the admins on the Ketogenic Dieters board saying, can't I just skip this last meal? I just cannot even bear to cook. I am so exhausted. And they said, no, go downstairs and make yourself some tuna fish packet right now. They have whipped me into gear. And so even if I'm not hungry, I always eat. It's important to train your body to let it know that it's okay to eat what you're supposed to eat. And my body has adjusted. So now, ironically, I get hungry in the morning around noon when I normally would eat. And I get hungry in the evening late. Sometimes not till 9 or 10 because that's when I often eat because of my schedule. And so I know QnA, my new little Padawan, she was wondering if eating late interferes with my weight loss. And so far it has not. I eat after 8 o'clock every day, every single day. Like there's no day that I eat before 8 o'clock ever. And so even though I'm intermittent fasting, technically, I'm never getting a 16-8. It's just not possible with my schedule. I went off on a ramble. Sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, I eat my calories, especially my protein. My fats, I keep them within 10 below, and I try not to go over, though I do sometimes go over. And I keep my carbs at 21 or fewer. Susan says, having more protein is better? She's asking me. I believe that if you have enough protein to sustain your lean muscle mass, you're going to burn fat faster. And if you're lowering your fats and not taking in so much fat in your dietary fat, you are going to burn more fat from your body. So the last time I weighed 225 pounds, I was wearing the same clothes that I have been wearing since I got to about 240. Because I'm much thinner doing this higher protein version of keto than the last time I did a keto-like diet. I didn't know it was keto, but it was. My coach had me on a shake diet that was lower in protein and higher in fat. And I had more fat on my body at the same weight. So do I believe higher protein is better? Yep. But you don't have to, and that's okay. I definitely think it's better to have at least a 0.8 of a gram of protein per pound of lean body mass, or your desired lean body mass. And that's basically how we define our protein goal. Okay. Teresa Morales says, it's because of you I changed my program. I lost 3 more inches since I changed my macros, and I'm sleeping like a baby now after your advice. And the advice I gave her was to raise her magnesium level and take magnesium citrate instead of oxide and take it before bed because she was having trouble falling asleep. She was having insomnia. That's awesome, Teresa. I love to hear success stories. Man, I cannot talk today. Is my face red? It's a little red now. Okay. Anne McD, what are your ways of getting back into ketosis if you're kicked out? Well, firstly, how do you know you got kicked out? Did you go on a carb fest? If so, tomorrow you just get back to keto and on, and that's about it. I don't do testing. I don't do keto strips. I don't do blood glucose testing. If you're eating under 20 grams of carbs per day, you're in ketosis. If you're losing fat, you're most likely in ketosis. You don't need to worry about it. So if you think you got kicked out of ketosis, tomorrow you just go back to eating keto. That's all. I don't believe in extended fasting. I don't believe in water fasts. I don't believe in egg fasts. I definitely, and I mean definitely, do not support hamburger and butter fasts. No, can't even get behind that. Reason being is if you just eat your macros, they're your macros, whether you eat them in butter and hamburger or eggs, or whether you ate them in eggs and cheese and bacon and other meats, and it's the same thing. So just go back to eating your macros, go back to eating keto, try and keep your calories low if you're doing regular keto, and you'll get back into ketosis. It'll take you another 3 days. If you went on a carb binge, be prepared for the cravings to come back and the hunger to come back and feel like crap. You will be bloated. You will gain water weight. You will feel like crap. And I know this not because of experience, because I have not done it at all, ever, this entire 13 months that I have been on this. No cheats. But I have a friend whose husband has done this. Let's just say it was not pretty. And it was harder for him to get back into ketosis than it was for him to just keep on keeping on. So my advice is to just not eat carbs, people. Don't do it. I'm afraid to eat them. Like, I think it's my new anxiety. I'm afraid to eat them. Like, I literally am afraid that I will get in a car accident and I will be, knocked out and they will put glucose water in me in the hospital. Like, I'm crying to my husband the other night, please, if I get in a car accident, don't let them put glucose in me. That is how afraid I am of carbs. I probably will never allow myself to eat them again. This is the reason. I went on a keto diet that I didn't know was a keto diet, shake diet. I lost 110 pounds. I ended up having a miscarriage and then getting pregnant. I stayed sugar-free my whole pregnancy. After I had her, I went on another shake diet. It was isogenics. I don't recommend it. There's freaking 24 carbs per shake. All this time, I thought it was the shakes that were helping me. I didn't know anything about ketosis, so I just basically shot myself in the foot. Then I was able to lose 40 pounds over a 9-month span. And then I went on a carb binge, and it just was all downhill from there, and ended up gaining back all the 110 that I had lost plus 40, getting to the scary weight for me, which was 374 pounds, literally feeling like I couldn't leave the house. I was so embarrassed, and not being able to do daily tasks, having a hard time even getting myself clean in the tub. Like, literally scares me to death of ever going back there. So I probably am a little bit more anxiety ridden over it, which is probably why I freaked out about the weight gain a couple weeks ago on my video. I think because just when the scale goes up, it kind of just brings back those feelings of, oh no, it's coming back kind of thing. And I don't ever want it back. Susan Brown says, I love your personality and I have an adult son living at home. Woohoo, I have 2 adult sons. 21 and 19. My 19-year-old is much sweeter. He's adorable. I love him. Oh, I love them both. I really do. But right now, my 19-year-old is much easier to live with. Wanna Be Better says, I loved your last weigh-in video. You look so pretty in that red flower dress. Thank you. That red flower dress, ironically, is getting too big for me, especially in the bustier area. So I'm going to have to get me a new dress. I don't even know what kind to get. I don't know if I should get that same one in a smaller size. I don't know. All right, let's see. Teresa Morales, my husband just told me to tell you you don't look 43. Oh, I'm glad you said that, because that reminded me of a non-scale victory that I had to say today, but it was kind of along those lines. So Sunday after I made my video, that night I went to a choir practice that was for like the whole area where I live. And I'm sitting next to this lovely lady. I don't know, I'm guessing she was probably in her 60s. We'd never met before. I also took my 19-year-old son, my 15-year-old son, and my 16-year-old daughter with me. And I was asked to sing in the men's section because they didn't have enough tenors. And I have a lower voice and I love to sing tenor. So I was sitting over with the guys and I was just kind of bantering back and forth with my 19-year-old, teasing him because he's really mostly a bass, but he was trying the tenor, giving him a hard time and stuff. And this sweet little lady next to me, she leans over and she goes, "Oh, are you two brother and sister?" I almost died. I almost kissed her on the face. And I was like, "Oh, you're so sweet." "No, I'm his mama." Yeah. One thing about losing weight, man, brings back that youthful glow. At least it has for me. I don't know. I always had good skin. But when you're really fat, people don't look at you. You're invisible. Nobody gives a crap if you have makeup on or not. Nobody gives a crap if you cut your hair and look nice. They just look past you because they're uncomfortable. And me, I have a really big personality, and I always felt like I was making people uncomfortable if I acted like myself. So not only did my fat hold back me physically, but it also held me back emotionally as well because I couldn't actually be myself at all. And yes, I still had good skin when I was 374 pounds, but I felt embarrassed when I put makeup on. I didn't deserve to put makeup on, or people would think it was weird if I put makeup on. And now I love just putting this, I put simple makeup on. I actually only use BB cream because I don't like to have a full coverage. And it's really simple. I do mascara, BB cream, a little blush, and some lip sense. Oh, I did my brows though with gel. I'm not the best at it. If you guys want makeup tips, you should definitely go check out Fat Fit Beauty because Jess is freaking amazing. And she makes me want to try a little bit more with my makeup, but who knows? I'm just too busy. And I love putting makeup on for you guys. You guys always make me feel very young. Wanna Be Better says, what a blessing to have so many years of babies. I 100% agree. And I wouldn't trade my experience for going back to that weight for anything, even though it was partly my last 2 babies that brought me to that place. I wouldn't trade it for the world. It is wonderful and joyful to have little children running around, and I still have them. Even at 43, I can still be young and feel young because I have these littles all around me all the time. And then I also have my great teenagers. My teenagers are like spectacular. Can I just say? Super helpful, super amazing, great, great, great kids. It's when they become adults that they get a little scary. I don't know why that is. But we homeschool and it's our family culture to be kind to each other. I don't allow a lot of negativity in my house. So that's probably part of it. My teenagers never really backtalk. Not even my adult son has never really even yelled at me. So, ever. But neither has my husband because he's awesome. Hey, Dave, are you here today? I should talk more about how awesome Dave is so that he knows I'm talking about him. Everybody knows how awesome he is, but he is really awesome. Sandra R. says she doesn't have a thick skin. That's the reason why she's still thinking about doing a ketogenic channel in Spanish. That I can understand, but don't let it hold you back. Don't let it hold you back, girl. Just do it. If there's a niche out there that needs to be filled, go for it. That's why I went for it with this higher protein keto, because there's nobody else hardly talking about it. And some people talk about it a little bit, but it's not exactly the same thing. And so it's a niche and you can really get out there. So Sandra, don't let it hold you back. Just go for it. And if someone gets you upset, you can delete it. Do I use butter? I do. I use butter. It's a healthy fat. I don't use it often. I try to get my fats from my foods. So I tend to use more cheeses and things to get my fats. But if I need it, I'll put butter on my veggies, and I love it. Oh, I do not do butter coffee or bulletproof coffee or drink my fats at all. I feel like fat should come from whole foods. Now, when I get to maintenance, I don't know what I'm going to do to get my fats in, but I will have to talk to the admins about how they do it, because it seems like they do it just fine without bulletproof coffee, but it does look yummy. I don't drink coffee either. I have my Creo brew here. This is my roasted cocoa beans. I do drink that every morning. Usually with half and half, sometimes with heavy whipping cream if I want the fats, but normally half and half. Sasha S. says she's ready to be in the hundreds, or asking me if I'm ready to be in the hundreds. Yeah, like duh. Oh, you guys, my ultimate goal would be to hit Wonderland before I go on stage at the end of May for my clogging recital. I don't think I'll make it based on, I've been only losing between 6 and 8 pounds a month at this point, so I probably won't make it in time, but that would be so cool. That would be really cool to be in Wonderland by the end of May. Do I ever fall off the wagon with sweets? Nope. The only sweet I eat is sometimes I'll have some dark chocolate, or I will have a Lily bar. A Lily bar is sweetened with stevia and erythritol. Those are the only real sweet things I eat. And of course, my yogurt, I put the Mio water enhancer, M-I-O, water enhancer in it, and that's kind of sweet. But I do not partake in carbs. Seema is here. She's just listening, but she's driving, so she can't type so much. And Kimmy is also driving. Oh my gosh, don't kill yourselves, girlies. All right. Okay, JustTV5 says, I wish you could do a video on how to accurately use the chronometer and how to use the keto calculator you suggested on a previous video. I do have a chronometer video. If you go into the Ketogenic Dieters playlist, or just click on my videos tab and scroll way down before I started the day in the lives, I did a how to set up your chronometer and how to enter things video. I have not done anything on the keto calculator. It's from Keto Gains. I've never actually used it myself. I know that you're supposed to put sedentary and like not active, or I don't know, that's the same thing. Oh, fat loss. You're supposed to set it for fat loss and sedentary and use your body fat measurements. I could probably do that. I will see if I can do that sometime for you. Marjorie Burnett, she says, I heard someone refer to your plan as the modified Atkins protocol. Is that correct? Yes, technically it is, because a lot of the information comes from the book New Atkins for a New You, I believe, that Dr. Finney co-wrote. That is actually where our protein recommendation comes from. And I actually have a picture of the page in that book where that is from, but I don't have any way to post that here, so I haven't been able to really use that picture. But yes, so it is a modified Atkins protocol. It's really similar to Atkins. The main difference is that it is sustainable. That when you get to your goal weight, instead of reintroducing carbs, which the original Atkins suggested, you up your fats instead and you stay keto. But your protein still should stay the same unless you know your actual lean body mass. And like I said, you could use the Keto Gains calculator to determine if you need a lower amount of protein. But what I'm going by, because I don't have a bod pod or a DEXA scan right now, and I probably won't do that until I'm much closer to goal, if I do it at all, I just choose to go by average. And so the macros are based on average lean body mass for your height and sex. And that's how they determine it. So you could definitely probably eat less protein and still be fine and retain your muscle, but I like to err on the side of caution and keep it up. I actually had someone who didn't believe me that protein wouldn't kick you out of ketosis, and so she decided that she was going to test it, and so she actually ate high protein. I don't know how long she ate it for, if it was just one day or if it was like a multiple days. She ate the macros that I suggested and then tested her blood sugar and ketones. And she said while her blood sugar did raise up a little bit, it didn't stay up, and her ketones actually went through the roof. So she agreed that it doesn't kick you out of ketosis, obviously. Well, and I don't, obviously, like I keep losing weight. I'm burning fat. I'm obviously not burning carbs because I don't eat any. So even though I have extra protein that maybe my body is burning, the glucose that the blood sugar is not enough of a raise, obviously, to set me off kilter and kick me out of ketosis. So if you check out Matt and Mega's channel, Keto QnA, they actually have a really good video about that, about how gluconeogenesis is misunderstood, and it is a need-based process, not a oversupply-based process. So just because you ate a bunch of protein doesn't mean your body's going to turn it into glucose. It turns your muscle into glucose when it needs it to run itself. The brain does. And so that's why you don't need to be afraid of protein. All right. Stop that everybody's telling me I'm gorgeous. Oh man, you're going to give me a big head. See, my kid is right. You guys are giving me the ego. It's you. I love it though. Richard Poisson from Keto Nation says, I love that you just do you. And I appreciate that because I know that he definitely does not agree with me on a lot of things. But I love that he can appreciate that I'm doing what works for me and that I have something worth listening to say. And I appreciate that. And that is the difference between, Going Gonzo and Keto Nation. They don't agree with me and they have a lot of information. They have been doing keto for years. Well, at least Richard has. And he's just new to YouTube. He's not new to keto. And so I love that he can respect me enough to let me say what I gotta say and not come. He'll say stuff, but he's not arguing with me. He's not insulting me or making me or attacking me or anything like that. And so I appreciate what he has to say. I love it. Hey, Sarah SB, good to see you. Sarah's been doing really great. Hey, Sarah, have you had a chance to change to the higher protein keto yet? I'm curious. I haven't seen a video from you yet, but maybe I've just missed it. My life on keto, she says, I feel the same way about keto safe treats like mug cakes, low carb cookies. It's a slippery slope. Yeah, I actually saw Beloved Moonsea, an episode where she made some of those really delicious cookies that Keto Connect suggests with the gelatin in them, or collagen in them. Can't remember if it's gelatin or collagen, or is that the same thing? I have no idea. But she couldn't stop eating them. Like, they were so good, and like she lost her ability to control what she's eating. And that is the main reason I don't do it, because I know that I will lose control and I wouldn't be able to feel proud of myself anymore. That's the thing I love about keto, is that I get to choose when I eat. My body doesn't dictate that to me, or my brain. I just choose when I'm going to do it, and that's when I'm going to do it. And I feel more in control. All right. I'm glad I could help Isela with the schedule. Yeah, schedule is just crazy. I'm not going to dance today because my kids are all barfing. It just feels like a whole new world. But ironically, I still have to go to my own class, so I still have to drive down there. Because I'm not going to miss my class. I'm not sick. All right. Heck no GMOs. She said, or he, I don't know. He or she says, I just joined. Sorry if you already answered. Do you work out? Higher protein might be better if you work out to burn protein. Nope. Don't. I do clogging once a week on Tuesdays for an hour. It's not super high intensity or anything. It's nothing like Ailika over at Life Health Now does with her HIIT training. I don't lift weights. Nothing like that. The higher protein has not interfered, even though, and I've still lost, I'm at 146 today in 56 and a half weeks. So has not stopped me from losing fat, that's for sure. But I want to. I keep trying to get Gonzo to give me, he's not here today. I was going to see if he'd give me some tips. I think it would be really cool if he made a video of like a beginner's lifting workout for me and Dave, and like we went and videotaped it. So Gonzo, if you watch this later, I'm waiting for my video. My life on keto says, I've never done a hamburger and butter fast, but it at least sounds delicious. Oh, no, it sounds gross. Like soupy beef in butter. I just can't. But I'm glad that some people can, I guess. Oh, heck no, GMO has the same fear about the hospital putting glucose water in. All right. Okay. Sandy's losing it says, oh my goodness, my husband says the same thing about me, that my personality is so big it makes people uncomfortable. Yeah, I get that a lot. I used to get shushed a lot when I was younger. Now that I'm older, I can kind of see people. I kind of see when they tune me out and they're kind of like annoyed, and I can calm down. That's the problem with here. I can't tell, except for based on my numbers going down, whether or not people are bored of me by now. Oh, now the numbers are going up. Oh, that's hilarious. Keto XO. Love you, girl. Can you please explain why we retain more water if we don't get our sodium in? Sure. The reason why is because your body needs sodium to function. Everything about your body needs sodium. If you're low on sodium, you will know because your brain will stop working. One time, my mouth actually stopped working. I couldn't speak. It was like I was drunk. I could do everything else. I could walk normally, but I couldn't speak. Your brain just shuts down and starts to get real foggy. Your body needs sodium. It needs a lot of it in order to function. And on a keto diet, you're usually flushing it. If you flush it so much that your body is nervous, it will hang on to every ounce of fluid that it can in order to preserve the sodium in your body. So if you make sure to give your body doses of sodium multiple times a day, I was going to show you, but I don't know where I put it. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's almost empty. You can see I have my Soleil water. This is my travel cup. And these ones down here are my storage. And this one up here is my measure. I know that I can fit a tablespoon and a half in here. And so I can take that 4 times a day. That's how much I take. You may not need as much as me. But I take it throughout the day. I don't take it at once. So I have one in the morning, and then one with my meal, and then one with my second meal, and then one before bed. to make sure that I'm giving my body plenty of sodium so it doesn't freak out. I really think that it was those days that I kept retaining water. I really believe it was the sodium because I wasn't being super careful with it. And I also got really cold, and I may have been bundling too much. I mean, I may have lost more of my sodium than I realized on those 2 Fridays. So that is the reason why. Sarah from Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto is here. Hi, Sarah. She says, you offer so much to our world, Tammy. I love your philosophy. Your red dress looks so good on you. Red is your color. We share the same philosophies on so much. Sarah is the guru of keto. If you guys want to know everything about keto, you should watch Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto, because she has a daily podcast where she talks about keto, and she will kick your butt. She will freaking kick your butt. She is not into ketofied nothing. She doesn't even eat chocolate, people. She is the best. She doesn't drink diet soda. She doesn't eat artificial sweeteners. She keeps it real and keeps it keto every single day. And she keeps it within her 2-pound range of like 121 to 123, or is it 120 to 122? Something like that. She does awesome. And she always has something to say, and she always has something to watch. So if you're just looking for something to watch, go over and check her channel out. I know I linked her in my shout out 2 times ago. Tammy Level says, what is my drink? It's called Cryo Brew, CRIOBRU. You can get it at cryobrew.com, or you can get it at Amazon. And it is roasted cocoa beans crushed up and brewed like coffee. You make it in a French press or a coffee maker, just like coffee, and it's cocoa. So it's awesome. It's 1.5 carbs per cup, or per serving, I guess. So if you don't mind the carbs. I only drink 1 per day, so I don't mind. And I don't drink coffee because I'm a Mormon, so I have to have something warm in the morning to make me feel, I don't know, cozy. When it gets to spring, I may have to find a new drink. Tammy Clevenger says, chronometer has changed a lot since I posted that video. Yeah, it has. I realized that I had an update, so I probably need to make a new one. I will keep that in mind. Sarah says she's teetering on adjusting her macros closer to the higher protein. Yesterday, she pretty much ate that kind of day and seemed like she had a mini whoosh, so I might be converting her. Woohoo! Go, Sarah! Seema Ruby says, I'm home. I loved your Monday mentor video. Very informative. That's exactly how I log my food. I do it the night before in Chronometer and adjust the macros to fit my goals. 100 fat, 100 protein, and 20 carbs. Perfect. That's awesome. Yeah, I tried to lay it out. It felt like it was way too long, and I tried to lay it out really simply. But if you have any questions about how to do that, please comment on there, because I don't know if I was clear enough. I try. Ketolicious Life says, she hates when other experts try to tell you how you should be doing things. Everyone's different, like you said. 146 pounds, there's the proof. Woohoo. Awesome. Okay, and Amber Lynn says, hi, Amber. One thing I have been doing that I thought I never could do is drinking a cup of chicken or bone broth with my meals. I used to hate the taste by itself, but now I look forward to them. Yes, and that is a good way to get your sodium if you don't like to do the Soleil water. For me, I like to be able to take my sodium with me wherever I go in case I start to feel the signs of keto flu coming on at all. I know to grab it, or if I'm hungry, because it will kill the hunger if you are out and you can't get to food. If you take some salts, some Soleil water, it will kill that. But drinking a cup of broth with your meals is a great way to get your sodium in. There's usually about 800 milligrams or so of sodium in every cup. And so you can definitely get a lot of your sodium in that way. Sarah SB asks, so how often do you adjust your macros with the Keto Gains calculator? Every week or every number of pounds? That is a very good question. You really don't need to adjust your macros. See, I'm going by the ones from ketogenic dieters, which are different than Keto Gains. They're a little bit different, not by much. And I'm not going to adjust them until I hit a plateau. So if I go 6 weeks with no loss in inches or pounds, then I will go on the Keto Gains calculator and do my macros. Technically, you do change them as you lose inches. So not by pounds or by weeks, as you lose inches, because it is based on your lean body mass. And so you're using the Navy body fat calculator to calculate that, or going and getting a bod pod or a DEXA scan so that you know for sure. And when you know what your exact lean body mass is, it will determine that. The problem is unless you get a DEXA scan, your body fat percentage is going to change. Your lean mass might be different. I mean, there's no way to know for sure what your lean mass is. So you don't really need to change them. Most people don't. You can do like Seema Ruby and just play around with your fats until you get to the place where you feel comfortable. Yeah, it's trial and error with macros. So if you find that the macros that they give you at ketogenic dieters or at Ketogains aren't working, you can adjust them until they do. But you really should give them a good 4-week cycle before you decide. Because as you saw in my video, sometimes you can retain water but still be losing fat, and then all of a sudden it will just drop off. Seema says we think alike. Awesome. That's good. I just feel like, I mean, I've learned a lot at ketogenic dieters, and I'm so glad to be a moderator over there. They have such great information. But yeah, they recommend when you hit a plateau to just tweak things. So if it's working, keep doing what's working. If it's not working, adjust. She says she's too lazy to change it all the time. Yeah, right? I mean, exactly. The percentage on your weight scale, it's not that accurate. If you watch Keto in Canada's recent video, her scale says she's somewhere between 28 and 31, depending on when she weighs herself. And when she went and had a bod pod, she was only 25. So the scale, I mean, it can be close, but it's not going to be 100% accurate. But it's still, I mean, if you want to use those numbers and try those macros, it's not going to hurt you. Seema says, the people on ketogenic dieters are nice, but you need to have a thick skin because they can be mean. Yeah, we don't mean to be mean. I think sometimes a couple of them can come across a little bit more harsh than some of the other ones. I try and be as nice as possible, but I often get corrected on my wording because the way I word things, they say it's not clear enough. So sometimes I have to go back and change my posts. But they're just basically trying to monitor, like there's like 95,000 people on that board, and we're trying to teach a keto that's different than every other keto. So we just have to be more careful, and we have to look at every single post and make sure it's in line with what we're teaching so that people don't get confused, because otherwise it's just going to be every other keto page. But yeah, I mean, it can come across a little bit that way. All right, you guys, it's been an hour. I'm going to have to take my leave of you. I love you very much. And I'm so grateful you're all here and listening. And if you have any ideas for future lives for conversation starters, I'd love to know. If you made it to the end and you are watching this later, be sure to give me a kissy face in the comments. So thank you for wishing my kids to feel better. I hope so too. Oh, there's one more question. Oh my heck, I gotta answer. Since being keto for a year, my morning blood sugars have been elevated. Why is this? Because blood sugars go up and down. I honestly don't know. I don't know a lot about blood sugars. If you came on ketogenic dieters, there's a couple of people on there that know more about blood sugars. Chris Hardy is one of them. You could tag him in a post and ask. I wish I knew more about that, but I don't. I'm so sorry. All right. Oh, thank you for all the kisses. Don't forget to put a kiss on the real video once it posts, and I will talk to you again soon.